Hello there. Today's video, entitled Parents. Entitled parent has their daughter swimming naked at a public pool. To start off, I go swimming at my local rec center, which is pretty popular. I also mainly swim underwater because I find it much easier than holding myself up. This is important. This happened a few days ago. I was just chilling in the deep end, swimming underwater, like usual. About 20 feet away, in the not-so-deep area, I thought I saw a small butt. Whatever, I've seen a lot of skin-colored suits. I come up for air, and then when I look ahead I go, holy shit, there's actually a naked child in this pool. I start feeling awkward, so I turn back around and just stand there for a bit. After a bit, I just go back to swimming. After about 30 seconds underwater, I feel myself getting pulled up, so I just push myself up to the surface. Now, entered, entitled Mom. Mom, what the hell are you doing? Me, what? Mom, you're looking at my child's parts. She's only 5, you pervert. Me, I'm sorry. Mom, I saw you look at her a few minutes ago. Then you went underwater. Me, oh, I assume you are the mother of that naked girl. Mom, so you admit it. You did look at her. Me, on accident when I came up for air. I turned around. I then get pushed underwater. She actually held me down for a bit. Then, someone jumps in the water next to me, and I get pulled out. I then start hearing her screaming that she was assaulted and violated and other shit like that. For the record, I wasn't really in danger, mostly because I was only under for about 3 to 5 seconds. Anyways, time to enter the absolute fucking legend, lifeguard. Lifeguard, ma'am, why were you holding this man underwater? Mom, he is a pedophile. He was looking at my daughter while she was naked. Lifeguard, I'm sorry, naked? From what I've seen, he hasn't left the pool. Mom, well sure he didn't, but he went underwater while my daughter was naked. Me, well yeah, because I really only swim underwater. I can't even see that far underwater, it gets foggy. Lifeguard, wait, is your daughter in the pool? Mom, well, yes, why does that even fucking matter? He's staring at her. Lifeguard, no need for language, but please explain why your daughter is naked in the pool. Mom, because she doesn't like swimsuits, but it doesn't matter, call the police and have this boy arrested. Lifeguard, excuse me sir, but can I hear your side of this story? Me, well I was swimming underwater, and when I came up for air, I saw a naked child in the pool, about 20 feet away. I just turned around and after a minute or two, went back under. 30 seconds later, she was pulling me out of the water and all this began. Lifeguard, alright, I'm going to have to ask you to get your daughter out of the water and clothed, then we will have to talk to my manager. Mom, finally, something is happening towards punishing this pervert. The lifeguard just winks at me. It was at this point I realized this guy already knew what actually happened and doesn't intend to punish me. I had to go with them, cutting my night short. Although, it was worth it for the fallout. At the pool manager's office, she started yelling the moment we got in about how I was a pervert staring at her naked daughter, the lifeguard assaulted her, the police needed to be called, blah blah blah. The lifeguard then explained what happened from his POV, I gave mine, then she gave hers. This is everyone's story. Lifeguard, I saw 2 people arguing, these 2, and from what I heard, she was mad because he was staring at her daughter or something, then she pushed him under and held him down for a few seconds until I pulled her off. She started screaming about him being a pedo and staring at her naked daughter and I asked what she meant. She had her daughter swimming naked in the pool. Me, I was swimming underwater and when I came up for air, I noticed there was a naked girl. I turned around because I felt awkward and after a few minutes, I went back under. Then she came and pulled me out and started screaming. She basically just said what lifeguard said, then she dunked me and got pulled off. Mom, he stared at my daughter's vagina and when I tried to talk to him, he screamed at me. He tried to hit me, so I pushed him. Then the lifeguard came and pushed me and hit me then screamed at me too. And the manager, so how about we now check the cameras? Mom, suddenly flustered, no that's not necessary, let's just leave. Lifeguard, no, let's just watch them so that we can get proof of him being a pervert. Manager, lifeguard, great reasoning. Let's do it. After this, she got in trouble. Not for the naked thing, she really was just told not to do that again. No, she was in trouble for assaulting me. She's not allowed in there for a year and the police were called. I was asked for a statement and I told them what I told the manager. I was asked if I wanted to press charges. I said no. I'm only 16 and don't feel like having to enter the legal world, as well as I don't want to completely ruin this lady's life. She then screamed, "Fuck you" at me, the manager, and the lifeguard. That was the last I saw of her. Those two guys are fucking legends. If you read this, love you guys. Thanks for reading my story. I know it was kind of long, but I really needed to vent. Bye. Update: a very kind Redditor has told me I can still press charges. I looked it up, and that is true. I have decided that I do want to be thrown into the legal world. I will be reaching out and seeing what I can do. I'll keep you guys updated. Update 2: that was fast. I am still able to press charges confirmed. I have to go to the police station. I'm getting ready to go now. Update 3: she was called into the station as well and flipped out. She is denying this, I guess. According to a police officer who reached out to me, I guess I'll be going to court. I'm still figuring this out. I guess I'll see. Update 4: she's been charged. With some legal help from the previously mentioned officer, she's got charged for assaulting me. Not sure if she's been arrested, but we got her. Update 5: she got arrested. Let's go. Edit: grammar. Edit 2: I had to change some time statements because I didn't have enough karma the first time and I just loaded the draft. Edit 6: to clear up some confusion, we haven't gone to court yet, but from what I understand, if we do, and I lose, or we settle, or something like that, the charges will be dropped. Not completely sure, but from my understanding, that's what will happen. I swim underwater with goggles on. As most people know, water fogs up over distances. However, I also do not swim the long way of the pool, I swim across it. So I did not close the gap between me and the child at all. The girl was near the mother when she tried to drown. Not sure if that was the intent. She kept her by her with a floaty, so the mother isn't completely hopeless. This is me repeating myself, but the mother didn't get into huge trouble for having her daughter naked. That was just a slap on the wrist and being told not to do it again. She got in trouble for holding me underwater. As I said in the previous one, I'm not sure if she was trying to drown me, but it was still assault. Hope this edit helped clear some things up. Crazy liar dad finds out where I live and attempt to give my apartment to his random friends without my knowledge. So this is long. I have a TLDR at the bottom, lol. To add some context, I'm F25. My parents are so crazy to the point to where me and the majority of my family had to cut them off. For me personally, my dad completely, and my mom calls on occasion. My mom also tries to overstep, such as inviting him to family events he's specifically not invited to. The reason is he tries to steer every conversation and attempts to talk about himself. PPL usually don't care or want to hear them. He argues with PPL, threaten their lives, and she purposefully does these things knowing they'll cause an argument, and she gets joy out of it. So needless to say, sane people don't want these issues in their lives. My dad is delusional and narcissistic to the point to where he thinks he's famous and claims everyone runs up to him for pictures and says he's famous and someone he knows is making a movie about him, lies about it obviously because no one has ever seen this and it's a running joke. People laugh at him, he thinks it's with him, not at him. He's lost all of his friends due to his poor behavior. Such as arguments, belittling, non-stop phone calls. But to the story of his lies and delusions. I have an apartment and I didn't give him my address. BC, we aren't on speaking terms and threatened my life because I wouldn't give him my personal info so he could take out loans in my name. Like, that's an obvious no. Also, I didn't grow up with him, so I barely know him. He has apparently told people he has an apartment, mine, that he lets his daughter, me, live in. This is what I've been told. He likes to pretend to be a big shot. So I guess he told some people who needed a place to lie they could stay at his spare apartment. He got my address from a family member, I assume my mom, due to the fact that no one I know speaks to him. One day I get a call from my apartment building manager saying there are some people at the gate saying they're here to move into your unit. Is this correct? I was just as confused as she seemed, as well as the people he sent to live at my place. He somehow thinks it's his place. Mind you, it's my place, I pay the bills, and I didn't even know he knew my address. So I go out to meet these said guests as there was much confusion. These three people, three random sketchy older looking men, Side note, I would at most let a friend stay a few nights if needed, not random strange men. I ask what's going on. My building manager stayed busy. She wanted to know what's going on and wanted to help sort it out, and she would also know who's moving in and out. BC she's in charge of leasing, and the building isn't that big, we all know each other. The three men proceed to tell me they're moving in their place. We're here for the keys, you're his daughter, right? He said you'd be out by the time we got here and keys would be at the front desk. We all looked, and I said, do you see a front desk? I asked to see what was the address. We thought maybe wrong address? Nope, my address. So the guy said your dad said he kicked out cause he said you're freeloading and he had you leave the keys at the non-existent front desk. By this time all five of us were confused, but they had my address. I said he doesn't even have my address, so how he got it. By this time they're trying to call him to sort it out, he's not answering at the moment. So I explained to them, how he got this address. I haven't spoken to him in about a year and how I'm freeloading, or what he's told you, but this is my place. What's going on? Y'all need to figure it out with him, but I have no place for you, Sry. They try to get me to call him. I said no, and calling won't change anything, and this isn't my prob, so I can't help you. BTW. They didn't seem threatening, it was just random and weird for all. I hear one guy on the phone talking to my dad. I hear him telling him she's lying, etc. Ask her to show you the lease. At this point me, one of the guys, and my building manager are all looking like this is odd, and he looks embarrassed. My manager stepped in at this time luckily. She told the men you all must have the wrong place, she's on the lease, the only one. You will all have to leave and sort it out. I can say despite them looking sketchy initially, they were as calm as could be in their odd situation. Because in all honesty the only fault they had was believing my dad. They thought they were moving into an apartment for free. If I was in that situation I wouldn't be happy either. After apologizing and before leaving I heard one of them saying, I knew something was up, he always lying. I asked what did he tell you? One of the men said he told me he had a spot for him to move in, all furnished and paid up to the rest of the year. I kicked my daughter out cause she's freeloading, but claimed he couldn't get out of the lease. I said something like, well, like your friend said he is a liar. How, why, and what made him do this? I never gave him my address, he isn't on a lease, I don't even talk to him. So, I'm sorry but hope it works out. What my dad thought would happen. But like I said, he's delusional. He probably assumed all he was saying was true. Or maybe he assumed there was a front desk and whoever was at the front desk would just magically let three random PPL in. And I'd have no say. It's all so crazy that I can't even attempt to understand. There is no use, lol. Also I told my manager thanks, and if anyone ever comes when I'm not home please give me a call or call 911. If I have a guest coming I'll be home to greet them. TLDR, my delusional dad who I haven't spoken to in over a year somehow got my address and told three of his friends my apartment was his and sent them to move into his apartment. Customer thinks it's okay to buy fish knowing they're going to die. So, I work in a pet store. Corporate company, unfortunately. I figure big box pet stores aren't going anywhere anytime soon, so may as well take it one step at a time and try to introduce proper fish, reptile, etc. keeping, haha. I have my fair share of dumb people, but this encounter is the only one that actually made my blood boil. So I'm over in the fish area when a mother and her son come over to me. She tells me they need help with fish, so I ask them what they're thinking, which prompts the father to wander over. He shows me the 5-gallon tank they've already got in a cart. I'm already cringing, call it a gut feeling. He points at the goldfish and says they'd like 3 small ones. So, I go on to my usual script of well, these get really big, you'll need a 75 grams for 3, yada yada. At this point they're already looking pretty pissed and I am getting a bad vibe alert. He motions towards the feeder goldfish and asks if they could get some of those then, and I give him the same answer. He also mentions that they're going to need a suckerfish, also known as a common pleco. I hate when people call them this. It just proves to me that A, they don't actually know what they are and B, they have no idea what they're getting into. I go into my usual spiel of how big plecos get as well, and it's then the mother steps in with well, we can upgrade when they get older. This is code for we won't actually, but are saying we will, so that you'll give us the fish, BTW. 9 out of 10 times. Unless someone can tell me exactly what tank specifications of certain fish is going to need as they get older without any prompting from me, I call bull. So instead I try to encourage them away from the bigger fish and towards smaller options, mollies, platies, etc. I encourage them to get no more than 2 to 3. The guy finally settles on 2 platies and 2 guppies, to which I state, a little bit more forcefully, since apparently they needed it, that I would not recommend more than 3. He kinda stands there for a second, then looks at me and says, well, they're probably not going to live much longer than a month anyway. Now I know that due to past experiences a lot of people think that fish don't live super long, which obviously isn't true, so I ask him why's that? He says, well, I've got 3 kids, so they're gonna be putting shit in the tank all the time. To which I replied, with what hopefully came out as a mixture of rage and horror, why are you getting them then? The mother piped up behind me with because we can. How? Now you can't. So, I told them that I didn't feel comfortable selling any fish to them, and they marched out, leaving their full cart of random fish stuff for me to put away. I thought that was the end of it, joking around with my coworker as we bonded over the stupidity of people. However, my manager mentioned later that she had gotten a complaint call about me, and I just started laughing lumfow. Apparently she called my manager and left a complaint, telling her that I wouldn't allow them to get any fish besides guppies and that I was horribly rude. She neglected to tell my manager the size of the tank that they had or how rudely they'd treated the idea of living, sentient beings. Luckily my manager was understanding, but goddamn, the audacity. That all folks. If you like this content please subscribe, hit the like button, and check out my next video. Take care.